Hi everyone. This short video will take you through the how to apply process and assist you while completing your online application for the Marine Institute. First, you can head on over to our Learn at MI webpage, which can be found at the web address learnatmi.ca. There you will find lots of great resources including our undergraduate and graduate view books, information on tuition and fees, some short videos, a way to contact the recruitment office if you have any questions, and most importantly, the Apply Now button to start your application. Once you have selected Apply Now, you will be redirected to the page you see here on screen. Select Online Application button, which is highlighted in red font and we have indicated with a black arrow, and you'll be redirected to the sign-in portal screen where you can then begin your online application. After you select online application on the previous screen, you will then be brought to the online application portal. At this point, if you previously have an account from an application to one of our campuses at Memorial, you can sign into your account. Otherwise, you'll need to select Create an Account, which is in the blue font under Sign In, and we have indicated with an arrow. If you did not previously have an account and you selected Create Account, you will then be brought to this screen where you will need to input some information. So on this screen, you will need to input your first name, your last name, email address, and confirm email address. You can put in the other fields which are outlined on screen, but it's most important that you complete the first four I highlighted, as they have a red asterisk next to them, which means that they must be filled in. Further down on the Create Account screen where you inputted your personal information, you will then need to input some information about the academic program which you will be applying for. So on this slide, we are going to indicate what information you would input if you are looking to apply for one of the technology/technician diplomas, technical certificates, or advanced/postgraduate diplomas. So for these programs, you must select the fall/September for entry term, and this is because this is the only intake for these programs. Only intake is the fall. For academic level, you would then select Marine Institute Technology Technician Diploma, or for the certificate or postgraduate diploma if that was one of the programs you'd be applying to. For area of interest, same thing, you select under the area which the program you'll be applying to. So for this example, we've again selected Technology/Technician Diploma. For academic program, we have selected our Diploma of Technology, and the main point we want to highlight is the campus. So when you're applying to one of the programs which we highlighted above in the title, you must select Marine Institute as your campus. And that's the main point of emphasis we wanted to make on this slide. Next, we will look at what information students will have to input if they are looking to apply to one of our undergraduate programs. For our undergraduate programs, students can select entry term in any of our three intakes, those being fall, winter, and spring. But for this example, we have elected to keep it as fall. For academic level, the option must be undergraduate. For area of interest, it must be Marine Institute undergraduate. And for academic program, students will have the option to pick between our 2 Bachelors of Technology, our 2 Bachelors of Maritime Studies, and our Certificate in Leadership. Finally, the most important point we want to emphasize is that campus must be selected as St. John's for our undergraduate programs. Finally, we're going to go through the same process, but indicate what students will need to fill in if they're interested in one of our graduate programs. So for entry term, again, students would have the option to be admitted in the 3 different intakes throughout the year, but we have decided to just remain for this example with the fall semester. For academic level, students must select graduate. Area of interest, Students are going to need to select the area which their program would fall under. So for this example, we've selected the fishery science, graduate area, and then for the academic program, we've selected the Masters of Science in Fish in the Fishery Science and Technology. And again, we just want to indicate that similar to undergraduate, for graduate programs, students must indicate St. John's as the campus. Once you've filled in all the required fields, which we outlined on the previous 2 slides, you must then create a password and select Create Account. We want to note that once you select Create Account, you'll receive this message seen on the screen. You'll receive an email on how to activate your account, and you must follow the instructions as this is the last step in creating your account. Please allow 5 minutes for the confirmation email to come through. Once you have activated your account, you can now select Create a New Application to get started on your formal Marine Institute application. Once you have selected Create a New Application, you will be brought to the application listing screen, at which point you will need to select the option that applies to you based on the program you are looking to apply for. So there are going to be 3 different categories of options which you will be choosing between. So if you are looking to apply to one of our technology/technician diplomas, technical certificates, or advanced/postgraduate diplomas, you will need to select one of the 2 options under Marine Institute, which will be the first category. So in this, you will need to select to either start a new application for Canadian students or a new application for international or transfer students. If you're looking to apply to one of our bachelor's programs, those being our 2 Bachelors of Technology, our 2 Bachelors of Maritime Studies, or our Certificate in Leadership, you must select one of the 3 options on the second screenshot we have provided. So in this option, students will either select as Canadian New/Returning or NL Transfer from an NL University/College, International New/Returning or International/Canadian Transfer, or Limited Access students currently attending Memorial only. The final option will be students looking to attend one of our graduate programs. So for this, there are 2 options, and those are to start an application for Canadian students or to start an application for international students. So it's important on this screen to select the option which applies to you based on the program you are looking to apply for. After selecting the application listing which applies to you, you will then be brought to the online application where you can continue with the selected program you indicated when creating your account by picking Next, or you can change programs by picking Start a New Opportunity here. If you selected Next, you will be brought to this page. Here, you will fill out the required fields, your entry term, campus as Marine Institute, and your admit type. There are 8 options for your admit type. Please read each of them and select the option that fits your admit type. Again, you will select your area of interest and academic program. If you have attended a campus on Memorial previous, please enter your student ID in the indicated field. If you selected Start a New Opportunity here on the online application screen, which we outlined earlier in the presentation, this is the screen you'll be brought to. It's important to note that the only way you can utilize this Start a New Opportunity Here button is if you're looking to pursue a different program but that falls under the same campus. As we highlighted earlier in the presentation, our bachelor's and our graduate programs both fall under the St. John's campus. And for those options, you would need to start a new application where on the application listing screen, you select either graduate or undergraduate. In this situation, when selecting Start a New Opportunity, you can only register for another program which falls under Marine Institute campus. Once you complete the Plan section of the application, please fill out the field under each tab on the taskbar, those being Personal, Demographics, Next of Kin, Academics, and finally the Declaration. Under these various categories, there will be required fields which will be noted with the red asterisk as we indicated earlier in the application, but we recommend you fill out as much information as possible as this will make it much easier for those who process our applications. Once you have went through all the fields and filled out your information, you must complete the declaration form. This is to confirm that all the information you have filled out in your application is accurate. There are a couple things we want to note on the declaration form. The first thing we want to indicate is this arrow which is pointing to a no and yes box. So for students who are currently completing grade 12 in Newfoundland and Labrador, we recommend that you select yes for this box so that your exam marks will be released to the registrar's office of Memorial University, and this will help expedite the review of your application and determining of eligibility. The next thing we want to point out is under these yes and no boxes is the signature. So if you click on this box, you will then be able to fill in a digital signature, and following this, you will then be able to submit your application. We hope this presentation was helpful to you and ask that you email recruitment@mi.mun.ca with any questions you may have about the Marine Institute or the application process.